You already know the rules. When you come in my house, take off your shoes and super violate that like button. It don't cost you nothing to hit that like button. Shall we begin? Shall we begin?
All right, so as you can see, there's no water. Luckily, a friend of mine gave me 3 bottles of water I didn't have to buy, so this is gonna be my shower today. All right, so there was an emergency, and basically I had to go down to the pool and fill up 2 buckets of water with my wagon because I had no choice. That's the only way I'm able to flush. And I understand the pipe break and they're fixing, but the government has got to do a better job. And then you see them posting pictures and quick clips of them giving water out. Yeah, that's bullshit. They're doing that just to look good for the cameras. And the reality is, a lot of us don't have water. How are you supposed to live? How are you supposed to flush your toilet? How are you supposed to cook? How are you supposed to take a shower? Like, how are you supposed to brush your teeth? It's ridiculous. Look, shelves are out, but we got one. These are the cheaper ones for $1.50. Let's see, these are $2, $2.79, and the 24 pack is $3.99. I guess I'm gonna have to get these. So I called and they're like telling me the nearest location, and I'm like, that's too far from me. Like, it's not like I could walk there, you know, I don't have a car. What do you do when there's old people who can't even leave their house to get water? What do you tell them? And they just kind of were like, well, sorry. All right, guys, got the water. Now it's time to go home. Also, I checked 2 different beaches for the beach, because, you know, some of the beaches have showers. There's no water, so. All right, guys, it's been 3 days without water, but there's been people who haven't had water for 30 days. I'm just 3 days, and that is killing me. So I can't even imagine 30 days without water. If you're supposed to be delivering water, you should go to every community, or there should be at least 1 truck in each section. You know, sections are pretty big, but where it's at least somewhat walkable for someone to go and get water. My neighbor, he can't even barely walk. Like, he doesn't leave his house. So when I went to get water, I had to give him one because I felt bad. Like, what? This man is so old that he can't even walk. What? And just think about the countless of old people who can't walk or who can't leave their apartment to get water. Like, what the hell are they supposed to do? And like I said, I'm only 3 days without water, going on 4, but there's people who've been without water for 30 days. Something's got to give. But anyway, all that stressing, you know, I'm seeing all the no water signs in windows of restaurants and stores. And I'm just like, all this stress, I need to go to the beach and try to relax as much as I can. So here we are. Porque cuando hay problemas, ¿dónde vamos? A la playa.
I just got back from spending 4 days in Puerto Rico where there's a water crisis, so let's talk about it. As soon as I arrived, I went to the beach because I couldn't check in for a few hours. The people next to me strike up a conversation. They owned a condo on Isla Verde right behind us, and they asked me, oh, do you know if your accommodation has any water? Because we don't have any water right now. Obviously, I'm aware that the water crisis is a reoccurring situation. Same with the electricity. I said, oh, I haven't heard anything yet, so I assume it's okay, but I'm not sure. Not even 5 minutes later, my host sends me a message and tells me there's no water currently. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. I'm working with a private company to fill a tank on the roof so that you have some water. Obviously, take short showers, turn off the sink when you're brushing your teeth, etc. So I turned to them and I'm like, okay, no water, I guess. Long story short, I had enough water to get me through the trip. But for example, I was in the middle of taking a shower one night and the water just completely turned off. Fully shampooed everything, water just shuts down. And I was like, okay, so this is what it's like. And then I get to thinking, obviously this guy is hiring a private company to fill the water tank on the roof so that we have a little bit of water to use. I'm thinking the local people, you expect them to pay extra to have extra tanks filled so that they can use water when that's a basic necessity that they need to get through their days. Same with restaurants. I went to a restaurant and I ordered a drink and he was like, well, I can't make this, and this because I don't have any water to clean the dishes or to do X, Y, and Z, things like that. Something has to change. You should not have to pay extra to have access to things like water. You shouldn't have to go to Walgreens or the grocery store to buy gallons of water so that you can wash yourself. You shouldn't have to get buckets of water from your swimming pool to help flush your toilets. As someone in the diaspora who has had to deal with a tiny touch of this giant issue, this is where I guess I need help. What can we do? I do my best to promote Puerto Rican businesses and people and artists, but when it comes to things like this, I want so badly to do my part to help, I just don't even know where to begin. If you have resources, if there's petitions we should be signing, if there are petitions we should be making, I don't even know what to do in this situation, except talk about it, obviously, but that's just not enough. There has to be action. I know I'm not the only one who feels helpless in situations like this, but what can we do to help?
There is a disaster coming to Puerto Rico, and I need you guys to learn about it. I know this isn't my usual content, but I have to talk about this project called Esencia. And this isn't just affecting the environment and the economy. This is affecting everyday people of the island, and you probably have no idea. In short, it is another colonial expansion project onto the island. It's a part of their plan to have a Puerto Rico without Puerto Ricans. But thanks to the page Defiende a Cabo Rojo, this is a question and answer sheet so we can really get into the meat of the problem. Esencia is a luxury mega project funded by outsiders. It plans to buy up and develop 2,000 acres of land, and it plans to build 900 homes, 5 luxury hotels, 2 golf courses, an artist villa, a trauma center, a school. This isn't just another vacation spot. This would be permanent residence for outsiders and tax evaders. But where it's at and what they're building on is even more infuriating. There are detailed reports that list the dozens of animals and plant species that are not just endemic, meaning there is nowhere else for them to go, but they are also some that are endangered. Add to the fact that it's increasing the home prices around the area, pushing native residents out. It's even building on archaeological sites, destroying the very little history that we still have intact of our native people. And that's not all. We're talking about a project that is going to take over 1 million gallons of water a day to sustain. Not for the native people, not for the animals, not for nature. This is for outsiders to come in. Local government isn't just overlooking it. They're actively participating and accepting bribes. While the American empire crumbles in front of our eyes, you will be seeing plenty of these escape zones for millionaires and billionaires being built. And this one is hitting close to home. So I need all of you guys to support as much as you can. And what you can do to support is not just share this information and get yourself educated, but also donate. There are people, boots on the ground, that get into legal troubles, that leave their jobs and have to sacrifice their income to fight this fight. So I'm going to be sharing the pages that I believe you should be following so that you can keep up to date with what's going on. This concept of Puerto Ricans fighting for their land may be new to some of you, but may I remind you that they have been fighting for hundreds of years and will continue to do so until we see a free Puerto Rico.
While we was distracted, like in the days of Roman, when the gladiators clashed swords, and the NBA gave New York a championship ring for the first time in history. Puerto Rico don't have no water. Puerto Rico doesn't have any water. Scooby-Doo-Doo. Now, the crazy part about it is, I've been doing research about all the data centers that's coming and the shortages and the scariness of everybody talking about the amounts of water that these data centers is going to take up. Basically saying that these data systems is going to suck up all the water from the earth. That's where my focus has been. Trying to figure out how we going to survive without water, how we going to breathe without air. I mean, because the woods is burning every summer, and the trees give us oxygen. The ocean brings forth life. The rivers are being sucked up. We can't drink salt water. Smart cities is on the rise. And we can clearly see that from all the destruction that's going on in Iran, They needed to tear it down through war. And now Trump is giving them over $1 trillion. More than what Obama gave them. Trump is about to give them over $1 trillion over there in Iran. My question to y'all, what do you think that money is for? They had to destroy it in order to rebuild it into a smart city. We already seen what happened and what's been happening in Hawaii. Mother Nature, aka HARP, has been rattling them. And because the land over there has been decimated, the people has been removed from their land and it's being rebuilt. And see, under certain laws, when nature destroys certain areas, the government could take it back. Now in Puerto Rico, you have people crying because the rich wants that island. People are losing their land. Animals are going extinct over there. Even plant species. But nevertheless, not to stray off a topic, just to paint you a picture. I got to paint my Picasso. Puerto Rico don't have no water. Puerto Rico is a part of America. Puerto Rico is governed and controlled by America. You ever heard that song from Genuine? Say you want my trust in. What's so different? If you did it to him, then you do it to me. I sat back and I watched New Yorkers tear apart New York City over basketball. Meanwhile, the people in Puerto Rico don't have no water. How you go to a hotel, take a shower, and the water cuts off and now you got shampoo in your hair and you can't even get it out? How do you go to a restaurant and they tell you that they can't cook certain meals because they don't have any water, but then you eating from dishes that can't even be washed? How they washing them dishes? Never mind. Never mind. How do you go on vacation? The number one thing that you like to do while you are on vacation is eat and taste the food of the culture and drink. So you get over there, there's no water, and the people over there don't have no water. So you telling me that they drinking soda and juice 24 hours a day? Do you know what that's going to do your kidneys and your liver? That's diabetes. Wow. I just want y'all to marinate on that for a second, because I'm not done. And this topic ain't over. And I've been posting videos on Snotbox TV. I just posted one today. I might put the link in the comment section so you can go over there and see my last video. Y'all stay tuned. I'm trying to figure out exactly when I can maneuver and go live, because there's a lot to talk about and I can't bunch everything up in one video. You need to start preparing now. And if you start preparing now, you're still too late. Stock up on food. Stock up on water. Keep bottles around filled with water. Recycled water from your faucet if you have to. If you ain't got no money to replace the bottles of water that you drink, fill them up with boiled water that came out of your sink. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, and pay attention to your circle before they hurt you. Live life as if you on the run, but stay dangerous at the same time. I'm out.